Welcome in to the second installment of our Humankind Let's Play series. We're going to jump right into gameplay here shortly. If you didn't get to catch the first episode, it will be linked at the end of this video, so you go catch up on the beginning of the game. Last time we went through setting up the game and the nomadic era, the nomadic tribe, the Neolithic era. Today, what we're going to go through in this video is the rest of the Neolithic era, and then we're going to see how far we can get into the ancient era. I'm excited. Thank you all for your comments. Please feel free to keep the comments coming. I'm learning a lot just from reading the comments. I don't proclaim to be a full-on expert on Humankind. I've played a lot, and I like to share my thoughts and strategies and tips, but if you have comments, please feel free to leave them, and we can all kind of learn about the game together. That's the beauty of the 4X genre of gaming, is you are never done learning in 4X gameplay. With that, let's go ahead and jump back in to our Humankind Let's Play video. Okay, here we are. We're back in our game. You can see our land that we've discovered so far. And one thing that I wanted to comment on as we got started for this installment is this game has gone fast. It has gone very fast. 10 turns and all but one empire, or two, it looks like, maybe all but two empires have moved up, including myself, with myself there included. So a bunch of folks have moved up, which is fascinating, in 10 turns. We're on normal speed here, so that's pretty quick. It may have something to do with the fact that we have rivers turned up to high, because as we found out, rivers, a food curiosity on a river always gives 15 food, which is why it's nice to be on rivers when you are traveling, not only for the bonuses to movement speed, because you're not having to jump on and off rivers, but also because you can get additional food that way. We also snagged our science star very fast, because we got pretty lucky with the RNG on what the science curiosities we found were rolling. We're rolling threes on those. You get 1, 2, or 3 science, right, or something like that, and we're getting some big numbers there. So we have a really nice capital set up. Let's re-look at what we've got going on so far as we establish where we're at from the previous episode. We've got an 11 food, 11 production outpost set up. It's really nice. It is surrounded by river tiles except for on one side, and we've got horses. Again, when we get into horses, I'll talk a little bit more about that. I really like horses. If we start to look at the rest of our land as it's unfolding, we do have a luxury resource here. We've got our second outpost down in the Neolithic, and we have 30 influence remaining. I believe, and we can check with these guys over here, our next outpost will cost 60 influence if we stay in the Neolithic era. And this is the reason why we're actually going to play a little bit of extra time in the Neolithic era, is because that outpost cost doubles once we move up into the ancient era. So for 60 influence, we could get a third outpost in rather than having to pay something like about 120 influence for that once we have moved up into the ancient era. And so when I'm looking at moving up in Humankind from the Neolithic era specifically, at minimum, I want the science stars. And so we've got that. And then I want 2 outposts down. So I've got 2. We're going to push for the third specifically for this reason. And that reason is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 of the 6 players in the game have already moved up. That leaves me and 1 other AI. There are still some fun civs, some fun cultures left. The Carolans I definitely wouldn't mind playing. The Babylonians are always good in my opinion. The Egyptians are still on the board. That's typically a really good one. And we also have the Phoenicians on the board. So the likelihood of we're gonna have a good culture left to pick from for this era. I would have liked, as I mentioned before, to have played the Nubians, but that's fine. I'll play them another time. So that's why we're going to stick around. And while we're sticking around, we might as well go after another star. So we've got, we can see we've got some deer, we've got some mammoths. So we're going to try to get the hunting star as well as we're going through that and collecting the influence we need to put our third outpost in. Once our third outpost is in, I think we'll have accomplished everything that we want to accomplish in the Neolithic, and we'll see how far we can get our exploration done as well, to see where we want to put that third outpost. Right now, Probably what we'd be thinking is we've got these two in, so we might be thinking about something along here. However, I'm not seeing anything particularly lucrative about settling in this area. We've got the copper here that we could get online, but we're not going to need that right away. So maybe there's another luxury resource somewhere up in here that we could get a settle on. Now, that might cost us a little extra because distance from your current territory does increase the influence cost, but we'll see how that goes. We also know that we have a neighbor. It appears that this neighbor, who I believe is plosive, the deer symbol, this neighbor is on a different continent from us, but it's going to be an easily traversable continent. We could get from one continent to the other as soon as we can get in the water, basically. So we're going to pay attention to that as well. Let's end turn and see where this episode will take us. All right, we knew that someone was moving up to the Olmecs, so that is fine. The deer ran that way, so that's what we're probably going to do. These guys have no food. These guys have 10 food, and we know that this is a 15 food. Oh boy, okay, but deer give what? Deer give like 5 food or something like that? So here's what we're gonna do. These guys are gonna jump over here to start with. We're gonna grab the 15 food, and then they're gonna head in this direction and try to find that deer, wherever that deer went. These guys who have 10 food already are gonna be in search of curiosities. A sanctuary. That's gonna get us some stuff. So let's go ahead and we will ransack that tile for 5 food. Gonna get us 5 of the food we need. Could also have left that up for these guys. Nah, that's fine. I think we're just gonna go with it. I don't want to min-max too much. I like to min-max, but I don't like to min-max too much. And then we could also pick a fight with this mammoth. Now, last time I picked a fight with a mammoth, we struggled quite a bit, but I feel like we could play better. And if we do this battle location, we actually force the mammoth onto river. And so if the mammoth comes out to fight us, we should be able to, for the most part, try to pin the mammoth to a river if we can. And so I actually don't mind taking the fight. I think we just take it this way. Let's just see how this goes. I'm always curious with fights to see how we can get it done. All right, let's manual battle. We're gonna go with this placement and assume that he starts there on river. That way, if he comes over here, he's still attacking off river. If he comes all the way over here, that would probably be the better of the plays for him. But the AI is not necessarily always gonna do the right thing. So let's end deployment, and then we're just gonna I think we just let the mammoth attack us, right? Now, we can actually just double attack this mammoth. I think we just double attack because he's on river and we're not, so we get the advantage. We have the +1 from friendly units. He's got the -3 on river. And he's going to get that when he attacks off anyway, so we're just going to double attack. And now he'll attack, and we hope that he... Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We don't mind that. And then what we want to do is slide this unit over here to get that bonus back. And keep the mammoth on river if at all possible. So we'll slide over here. And we'll go ahead. I think we're just going to run the double attack here. Yeah, because he's on river. Perfect. All right, we played that one a little bit better. A little better than our first one. And as a result of that, big gains. So this is what's critical about hunting mammoths in the Neolithic era. As we found out, if you lose a unit while fighting a mammoth, but you still win the fight... Remember, you don't get any spoils in the Neolithic if that happens. So it's important to manage your fights and make sure you don't lose your unit. But if you can get a mammoth kill, all of a sudden you are staring down 20 food, which is huge because that's a whole unit, and 20 influence, which is big. You'll notice we're only 10 influence away now from that 3rd outpost that we were thinking about doing. So super effective to be hunting mammoths. I believe it's 5 and 5 for deer, which is also, it's okay, right? All right, plunder successful. There's the deer running that way. And so hopefully, oh, we have another mammoth down here. Now that's intriguing. And we have a food. That's an off food, so that could be a 5 or a 10. These guys could use a 5 or a 10, so I think we're just gonna grab the food, get the unit. Maybe we come back around and fight the mammoth with these guys, because we'll have 3 units at that point. Yep. Perfect. It was a 10, so that's fine. And I guess we'll jump back on river just in case this mammoth tries to get away. We'll just plop down. I think we'll plop down right here. The mammoth won't attack us. It's peaceful, so we can put ourselves anywhere to kind of prep for that attack. And then these guys actually might as well go after this deer to try to help get us that hunter star. So we're just going to try to close in, get on river, and move in that direction. These guys are going to try to find... These guys got another... oh, no. These guys need 5 more food for a unit. So we want to try to find that. A lot of... This is a good sign. Strategic resources. These are strategic resources that we have not discovered yet. And so we definitely want to... That's good land for later. Okay, and some marble. Marble is excellent. +1 industry per worker per marble, which is pretty good. Plus the stability bonuses. The stability bonuses are pretty huge. Now, one thing I'm starting to notice about our land is... Remember, we had this beautiful, lush, food-oriented land down here. Very food-driven. There's lots of nice tiles with food. And then we come up here, and it's getting a little more desolate. So we're starting to see just rock, stone fields, and not a lot of opportunity for food-oriented stuff. So that's going to drive some of our decision-making process as we continue through. Let's keep exploring with this unit. Again, we're moving 1 tile at a time just in case something gets discovered. That one wasn't particularly important. We're going to try to go get this deer with one of them as well. And then we'll just end turn and progress on. Okay, someone has discovered the Great Brew Hole. That deer continued upriver, so we're just going to follow the deer.
Do it.
And see if we can't catch it.
We move.
It must be on this tile right here, or that one, because we can't see those two. Interesting. Okay, we're starting to see... Okay, so we have obsidian and marble here. That's nice. So this is not a bad-looking spot to grab a couple quick industry-based luxury resources, which is always really nice. We've got gemstones up here, which is not bad. Again, stability bonuses are nice. And it looks like our continent might potentially wrap around over here. That would be interesting, because this would be a very large bay if that's true. It may be separate, but we'll have to keep exploring. Okay, we have a science curiosity, we have a food curiosity over here, plus we have the mammoth to fight. So this group of people is going to be very busy. As soon as we grab the science curiosity, I'm relatively certain... Okay, so we have to think about this now, because once we grab a curiosity, we're going to have enough to put down our outpost. And then we might want to stay in the Neolithic for a little bit more time just to collect the rest of these resources. So we have to think about that for a second. But maybe we fight the mammoth to start with. Well, we don't want to fight the mammoth on rivers. We want to set this fight up such that we have good land. Remember, this is the same area we fought the mammoth before, and it went poorly. So here's what I think. Let's come back for the mammoth. Let's go grab this really quick. We'll see if the mammoth moves onto a more opportune place for us to fight. Okay, that's 55. We're going to go grab this food. That will get us the full 4 units in this particular army or group. And that will cap us off here. So this unit will grab this food and probably fight this mammoth. We might as well grab this since we're here. That gets us to our 60. So now we have a choice to make. If we settle an outpost in this territory, it is not going to be that great. We don't actually... Well, there's some river down here. Technically, we could stick it down here somewhere to try to pick up some food. And that might be the location for it. It might be the location for it. We could also go grab this territory over here, but that one's not connected. Let's see. Let's take a quick gander. So we want to grab one of them that's connected to our territory, right? Because if we go... Well, this one's connected as well. So this whole chunk is connected to us. This whole chunk spreads up here. That's the one with the copper. But this one has 2 luxuries, and so I'm much more interested in getting the luxuries online. Now, we could take advantage of some river over here, and this is all going to be connected eventually, though. So this outpost could kind of take advantage of this if we needed it to. So putting an outpost down here may not be the best idea. However, it also might. Because if we try to put something up here where there's a little bit of food, like a 4-8 is just not, it's not a lot of food. But if we come down into this region, we can actually balance out the outpost a little bit. Give it some growth, 6 food, something like that. 6, 7 is not too... I mean, it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, but at least it gives us a starting point, and this tile might allow us to grab 2 river tiles right away, which could potentially get us some good yields. And then we can build maker's quarters up around here to take advantage of the rest of this. I'm just not sold on putting something up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run these guys down through this area. Can I get through there? Maybe I can't. All right, we'll go this way. We're going to go explore this just to make sure that this spot might be our outpost spot. So that's what we want to kind of look for in that one. Okay. We're looking for this deer over here. We got another food curiosity here. Wow, the curiosities are spawning like crazy. But we want this star, right? So we need to focus up on our goals. Our goal is let's get that hunter star and let's get that outpost in, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to go fight this deer. We're probably just going to sim this fight. It's going to be a relatively simple fight. We actually probably want to do this even. Just trap him into the river. Yeah, let's just do that.
For the tribe.
That's excellent positioning, right? Because that allows us to fully surround him. He's forced onto river tiles the whole way. He can't get out of there. Just for the sake of showing that. We'll just manual deploy, right? He's completely stuck, and then we can just come in and attack him. Now, will we be able to attack him with multiple units if he goes down in here? Maybe not. And so that might be slightly detrimental to us, but for the most part, this is going to be a decent fight. Except for we do have a unit that's going to have to be on river when they attack, but it's fine. So we're attacking down. This is a massive advantage, right? +4 from high ground, +2 from friendly units, and they're on river. So big advantage here. We run that attack. We're just going to run this attack as well, even though it's well, actually, you know what? We'll defend. We'll just defend off. We'll let them attack us. That way we don't take as much damage, and we can just use this attack again right away. The high ground advantage attack. There we go. Perfect. 5 food and 5 influence. Didn't lose any units. And we are 1 animal hunt away from our final star in the Neolithic Era. All right, we'll jump down here. Ooh, these guys now have an event on them as well. So let's check that really quick. A salve for the bloody. The battle is over. The tribe's still alive. Most still able to enjoy the warm caress of the midday sun and the cold bite of the morning frost. Yet, you didn't come out of the encounter wholly unscathed. Several of the tribe carry nasty wounds, none more so than one of the young fighters you are most fond of. Deep in slumber, blood oozes from a deep gash to her neck. Such wounds usually end in death, but one of the elder's followers thinks he can heal her by applying a poultice of tree bark and plant leaf. What do you say? Interesting. Okay, so I actually don't think I've ever had this event before, which is fun. I love the events in Humankind. It's so great. Okay, so we can treat. These concoctions can be powerful forces. It's their best hope, chances of triggering the narrative, or we dismiss, we pray to the spirits, and implore them to give her strength to survive. I will typically almost always take the science-y route, and I feel like the science-y route is by applying some sort of medicine. So let's go ahead and treat and see what that does. We'll trigger another event, which is exciting. All right. We can grab... Oh, man, there's another food curiosity down here. And it's on river. Holy smokes. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take one of our people. We're going to split them off. Okay? This guy's going to go off, and that's going to be a 0 food. That's going to be a 0 food person. These guys retain the 5 food. So we're going to jump this person on river over here and go grab the other food curiosity. We're not going to fight the mammoth yet. We're going to hold on the mammoth fight, although the mammoth is moving into a region where we could potentially fight them. We're going to go grab our extra unit by grabbing this 15 food curiosity that's on river. So we're going to grab the extra unit here. There's another mammoth over there. Oh my goodness, we could really make bank if we stay in the Neolithic for a while here. This is kind of my MO as well. If you haven't watched me play Humankind before, I like to play in the Neolithic Era, and so I'll tend to stay for quite some time. So maybe we're just playing a whole nother episode here in the Neolithic Era. I have no idea. That is entirely possible, because I do tend to do that. Let's move one at a time just so we see what's up. Okay, so I do think that... Oh, we got another... food curiosity. That's amazing. Let's jump into this territory so we can see our placement. That's an 8-6. An 8-6 is plenty, in my opinion. And we're not going to get anything near that up in this vicinity. So I am fond of this 8-6. It also exploits 2 river tiles, which will allow us to do stuff. I know it's really close to our other place, but that's fine with me. So we're going to place down here using our 60 influence. And we will go grab that curiosity in the next round. Now, let's do a quick check, because if you could get a 4th outpost in the Neolithic, that's... I've done it before. but it costs 120 influence, and usually you're not going to get there. So anything you're doing in the Neolithic era now is just to collect stars, which aren't worth very much, or to collect resources. So we've got a couple more resources to collect, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's probably try to get like a mammoth kill or something like that to optimize our influence generation, and then we'll probably move up here pretty soon. So we know there's another food there, but that's an off-river food. This mammoth's coming all the way up here. This mammoth is down there. Okay, so we're going to grab this food, because that should give us a third unit. And then as soon as we grab the third unit, then we're going to come down and run an attack on this mammoth. Where do we want to run the attack from? Probably we want to run it from up here to get a better high ground advantage with our 3 units. So here we go. Let's run this attack on the mammoth. We will manual battle, because mammoths scare me. We should have high ground advantage no matter what. Doesn't look like the mammoth is going to be able to get on high ground unless they cross the river, which is fine by me. So we're going to stay where we are. Mammoth is going to position actually pretty smartly. And so, but I think what we want to do is just keep high ground here. And so I'm just going to move this unit onto high ground, and then we're going to attack off of the high ground here. Again, +4 from high ground, +2 from friendly units, because we got 2 friendly units adjacent. And we'll take that attack, and then we'll just kind of, we're just going to sit, actually. Because we've got a couple rounds to fight this out. We're not going to, I don't think we'll be in any trouble by elongating this fight. Alright. Mammoth is now substantially damaged, so we should be able to just do a straight attack here. And then we'll actually just come down and we'll run an attack this way. It'll damage our unit a little bit, but we'll get the right idea. And actually, we could do this, and then this, and actually get ourselves the extra +1 from friendly units. So that's probably a pretty smart thing to do right there. In a fight generally, right? We're gonna take that +20. +20 is another it's a big deal. That gets us our Hunter Star, a 4-unit army now that we have running around. When it's scouts, it's hard to call it an army, but that's fine. And we still have a mammoth left to get here, and then 2 food curiosities here. This and this will actually get us another unit. So if we take this unit and run them over here really quick to snag this, that's going to get them to 15. And so then we're actually guaranteed another unit if we go up and grab this food. So that's going to take 3 turns to grab that. The other thing we could do is leave that and combine. Oh, no, we can't combine because well, we could if we removed a unit. We could remove a unit here, combine this. The food does stack, right? The food does stack. So this army has, oh, they have nothing. I thought they had a little bit extra food. They don't. They're going to attack the mammoth anyway and get a unit. So this guy's going to move over here. That's going to be our signal to move up. I think once we hit that, we get the extra unit from this, then we need to move up at that point. But these guys are going to run an attack. Let's go all the way around and take the full high ground stance here. Yeah, I like that positioning better. See how the battlefield draws out differently based on how you position your initial attack. I like coming over here so that we have the ability to take all 3 of our units on the high ground spot, right? So we're going to go with that. We'll manual battle again. That's just to make sure everything goes smoothly. Should be an easy fight to win. If the mammoth is smart, they'll try to maneuver this way to try to get up onto high ground, but there's a river tile there, so we're optimally positioned. They're going to go all the way down, which actually is not the worst idea, because now I can't double attack from high ground. If they would have stayed here, I could have triple attacked off of high ground. It would have been pretty messy for them. I'm going to leave this guy here rather than take the extra bonus of putting them here, because I don't want the mammoth to come up this way on the next round. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're just going to go ahead and end round, let the mammoth attack, and now the mammoth has put themselves at a monstrous disadvantage, and we're just going to come down and attack downhill, both of our units, and we'll take the 2020 bonuses and the extra unit. Another full army of units. This will gain us another unit, and so when this guy gets over there, we'll have another unit as well for exploration purposes. And then we've got our northernmost people that are out exploring. 2 turns until this outpost is established. Markab is established, and that will be good. So these guys can keep exploring for us. Where do we want them to go? I want them to kind of find out where our... We'll send them straight north, because we could take this army and go this way, and then we could do other stuff there. Let's send these guys... we'll keep them on river. Oh, there's food. That was a 15 food, and that got them their unit. So now we have a full army with these guys as well, right? And we can run an attack. Now that attack is going to waste some food, but that's fine because I don't think we're really going to try to get yet another unit with these guys. Now, for the sake of it, just in case we run into more food on river, if we're min-maxing, this is what we would do. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a unit off this way. And then we'll attack this way. Does it really matter how we attack? No, probably want to attack from this side, actually, right? Yeah. We'll do that. Manual battle. We're just going to come down the hill. We're going to move this guy over here for the bonuses. This guy will run our first attack because the deer's going to take heavy damage. It's a deer, so it's not really a big deal. And we'll just end. The deer will attack us. Deer will die. We'll take the 5 food. And so we wouldn't have gotten that food if we would have left that unit combined with us, right? So now we can run this unit around and kind of explore it a little bit more, and we can run these guys around. Maybe we get an extra unit out of that. I have no idea. So it'll help us with exploration anyway. We've got some more desert land up here. We've got more horses. That's something I've been looking for. Look at this land. It is rocky fields. That's just going to be... How are we going to play that? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Oh, these guys got 2 of the food from that fight. I forgot they were going to get the food split. Yeah. Something to take note of, Chad. If a unit that is not with your army is within range, the food actually splits between those groups. So we did end up with a food split on that, which it's fine. Okay. We have a science curiosity and a sanctuary. We could probably get those. I bet we could get those burned down before we end up moving up. But we want to move up soon because we're going to start falling behind, right? So we'll end turn. Okay, the Egyptians have been taken, so that helps us make some decisions. We now have access to the Carolans. Well, we have the Bantu, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Hittites, the Mycenaeans, and the Phoenicians. I love the Phoenicians, but I've played with them a lot. My inclination currently is to go with the Carolans because I have not played them yet. So we'll take a look at that here in a second. But let's finish up this. We got to get this guy over here. That's still going to take another 2 turns. Yes. But the extra unit will be worth it, I feel like. The extra unit will be worth it. These guys could actually just go grab this science curiosity. Always use a little extra science and influence, so that's nice. We're actually back up to 55 influence already, so that's going to be nice for when we move up, for sure. And this army is going to go this direction. I want to see what happens over here. These guys are going north. We'll send these guys in this direction. So let's get them on river. We'll do the little creep along just because we're in the Neolithic Era. All right. This unit can come and grab this, and then maybe... I don't think they'll have enough to burn the sanctuary down. They might. Oh, they do. Perfect. We'll also do this. Although grabbing the food is probably not going to be great for us. Okay, look, this is excellent. We'll just come grab this. Finding lots of curiosities. So at some point, what I've found is you have to stop yourself in the Neolithic Era. If you're like me and you love playing in the Neolithic Era, you could stay in the Neolithic Era for a very long time if you want to. It's not the best deal. It feels good because you're getting lots of good gains, but in the meantime, you don't have a city. Everyone else has a city that is generating more population, more gold, more like all your things that you get, right? You're getting more FIMs and stuff out of that. So you do want to move up at some point for sure. So we're very close to being at that point where we'll want to move up. So these guys are just going to go keep exploring. These guys are going to grab that food. So next turn is our move up turn. Ransack was successful. We're going to go grab this. That's going to get us our unit. That's the unit that we were kind of holding for. Perfect. These guys could just go up and explore. These guys are also... They can grab food. Look, don't get distracted. We're just going to get on river. We're just going to get on river and get out. We're not going to collect that food because it's not going to do anything for us. And that will disappear once we move out of the Neolithic Era. That food will disappear. So Let's go ahead and keep these guys. I think we keep them on river because they're going to go this way. And so we might as well follow the river in that regard, right? River is going to be faster travel. Do we want to attack this deer with this group? That's probably a good play for ending the Neolithic. We'll attack the deer, grab the 5 extra influence from that, because you don't get that influence after this period. We're just going to instant resolve this battle. It's a deer versus people. Like, we should win this fight and not have any trouble, so we'll instant resolve it. I always like to open it and check. Yeah, so we took some losses. So would we have taken that many losses had I actually done the battle? Maybe not, right? That's why I typically will manual resolve, but... All right, if these guys could reach that, that would be absolutely a perfect ending to this. Because it would grab us another science curiosity, gets us some more science and some more influence. That's perfect. And... oh, they have more movement. Wow, these guys have a ton of movement. Okay, let's go up the coast with them if we can. Can we come down here? Yeah.
This way. What's over there?
Mammoth that we're just going to ignore. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty then. So, this is where we're going to move up. And we're going to go ahead and do this as part of this episode. Yeah, we're going to move up during this episode because I wanted to do that. So let's move up. Again, what are the decisions we're looking at? We've got 3 outposts down. We've got our science star. We actually have all of our stars. And now we're starting to fall behind, right? Because people who've put cities in are starting to get new stars in the other era and get their stuff up. Now, I do want to say, we do want to get up here to these horses. We've got some nice land up here. We're going to have to take advantage of rivers exclusively because our land is looking a little barren, but that's okay. We only have 1 food resource down here that we haven't gotten access to. And so this is a good time to move up. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I am looking at the Carolands because I have not played them before. I think in this particular land that we have, actually lends itself, you could go Babylonians. I don't think Babylonians is ever a bad play in my opinion. The other thing you could do as I'm looking at the land, because there's more land to the south of us. There's actually like a continent almost down here. I'm not even sure what this is. It's a large piece of land though, with Halong Bay, remember? And what it has created is large swaths of coastal waters. Now, coastal waters lend themselves to harbors, which lend themselves to harbor-based civilizations, harbor-based cultures. So the Phoenicians would be a potentially good play. We have a lot of potential settleable land. It's pretty good. It's not awesome, but it's pretty good along the coastline. Particularly down here, there's some nice coastal stuff. I'm not going to play that game this time, but I think that a future Let's Play Humankind will show the harbor-based strat as part of the YouTube series as well. But for this time, we've looked at the land. I think we should go Carolands. I have not played them yet. Let's read about them before we pick them, though. So their unique trait, their legacy trait is cooperative spirit. +1 food on farmer's quarters per adjacent farmer quarter. +1 industry on maker's quarter per adjacent maker's quarter. +1 money on market quarter per adjacent market quarter, and so on with science. So huge bonus to the Carolands for the whole future of the game if you place your districts together. That's pretty standard. We like to do that anyway, so that's a huge bonus. It's a really, really good trait, so I like that. Ceremonial Plaza. This is where the Carolands get really interesting. Allows construction of new districts on adjacent tiles. -10 stability, +2 faith per adjacent district. The Ceremonial Plaza is a free place district, and what I mean by free place is you don't have to connect it to other districts. And it also can allow you to build off of it. So it's basically a ancient era hamlet. And if you know the power of hamlets, you know that that's going to be really awesome. So I'm really excited to try out the Ceremonial Plaza. And the healers, while they don't appear to be a fantastic opening unit, because we don't have anyone we're about to go to war with, we haven't even met a neighbor on our continent, the healers become a pretty decent unit to have. Mainly because what you can use them for is being able to have a healing unit later in the game rather than having to rely on other things. So there is bonuses to these healers. They're weak, I feel like, up front, but they can be pretty useful as you get further and further into the game. So let's take the Carolands. We're going to adopt them. We will confirm that. And I want to explore the Ceremonial Plaza. It's going to be really interesting. So here we go.
Ah, the challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel and you don't. Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish. Tribes settle towns. Towns develop markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and most important, rumors and hearsay. A new future awaits. Let us see if this culture will bring your dreams or your nightmares to fruition.
Why? Always talking about nightmares, huh? You always gotta talk about nightmares. The narrator. Man. Alright. Era Star unlocked right away. So, we have so many units. We stayed in the Neolithic Era for so long that we already have an Agrarian Star unlocked as soon as we get into this era. So that's something to note about Humankind. Everything does stack. So even though we reached the end of the era and our population went way over the population star, the population that we accumulated past that just ends up getting applied into the next era. So that's something to think about as you're playing. So we got our Agrarian Star, one of the stars unlocked already. That vaulted us right into first place, and we have the same amount of stars as everyone else. So again, my personal thoughts are, if you're not goaling for a specific culture in the ancient era, staying in the Neolithic for a little bit of extra time is almost always a good idea, in my personal opinion. So you'll notice the food curiosity is gone, and so we are going to truck our way into exploring some new land. I think we're going to jump straight across. I don't think we really need to stop anywhere along the way. We can't get on river, and so that's really unfortunate, but that's okay. We'll just move right here and call it good. We probably could have moved down here so we could have seen some more tiles, but there's not going to be a curiosity there anyway. All right, these guys, I guess, this guy's going up the coast. We're going to need to get in. We're going to explore this pretty quickly at this point. We want to just be on the watch for curiosities and other things to grab, so we're just going to kind of meander our way through territories now. Curiosities still will spawn. They will no longer get you food. They will either get you money or science and influence. So we are going to keep our eye out for that. We're just going to move along this river.
Let's go.
There's our first curiosity in the ancient era. We're down at the end of the river. We'll send these guys this way. It does look like this is a continent split. It does look like this is a continent split here. What a weird little continent split, though. Fascinating. I love the way maps happen in this game. All right, so we're going to go grab this curiosity. We should be able to just come straight down. Let's do it strategically. Okay, is this a lake or ocean? Okay, this is a lake. Interesting. So, this is the ocean, and this is lake. I'm really intrigued to see what happens here with this lake. All right, we'll jump on here. We'll grab this curiosity. It is a gold curiosity, so we have now made 40 gold. You will notice, this is one of the changes they made. Our population is relatively high, right? We have a relatively high population already, and so we actually have -9 gold per turn right now. Now, we haven't established our city yet, so that will change, but that is where we currently sit at -9 gold because we have such high population. All right, we're going to jump here. Perfect. We're going to grab another curiosity. Another gold curiosity, and we have now found our first free peoples. So a peaceful free peoples, so that's good news. So they will not attack us. So this peace sign right here means that they're a peaceful free peoples. And if it was a lightning sign, that would mean that they are a aggressive free peoples and they will attack you outright with no justification, like they will just come after you. So this is a peaceful free peoples. We're going to keep an eye on this because the potential to snag a free city may come upon us. And so we're going to pay careful attention to this unit. This guy is probably just going to follow this unit now for the rest of the game until we see what they do. And we won't get to cover it in this episode, but you'll want to stay tuned because what we'll do is we'll try to snag a free city, and I'll show you what that means in a future episode of this Let's Play. We won't get there this time, but I'm excited to potentially show you that. All right, a salve for the bloodied 2. So the result of our decisions. The Elder, prepare the poultice and apply it to the poultice and apply it to the gash. For the first few days, little change can be seen in the wounded fighter. Her face pale, her body feverish. But come the 5th day, her eyes opened, and you knew she would survive. It is a happy day. Rebirth. Nature's riches offer much more study than simple sustenance. We must study many plants. -25 on calendar research cost. Awesome. We're about to see just how important that is. Let us pick our first city. So, we have the option. Don't, like, when you click it, it will take you to the first outpost you put down, okay? But you don't have to make that your first city. You can, in fact, choose one of your other cities, your outposts, if you want, as long as they're down already. All of ours are down and built. So what I like to do is look at what is the opportunity that is being presented to us. We have a 10 food, 12 industry one here that is almost full surrounded by river. It's going to be really nice to upgrade. That's going to be a pretty nice tile. We also have the horses here. Okay, over here we have 9-7. Not as good start, so that's probably not where we're going to put our first city. And here we have an 8-6 again. So our best outpost currently is this one. That's going to make our best city. It also has the highest starting population. So we're going to go ahead and make this our first city. And that will trigger, because we have such a high population already, that is going to trigger our religion creation. So let's go through this process. This will be the last thing we do before I end this particular episode of our Let's Play series. But let's go through the religion process and get this turn wrapped up. And that will be the last thing that we do before our next episode. So to trigger your religion, I can't remember what the number is, but you have to have a certain number of population. We now have that particular number. Now, there's a decision you have to make here. Polytheism or shamanism. So polytheism is +6 faith on main plaza. So your main city center is going to get +6 faith for each of your cities. Shamanism is +2 faith on main plaza and +2 faith on administrative center. What that tells you is you just have to do some quick math in your head. If you plan on having 3 territories attached to your city, so your city and then 2 other territories, 2 outposts attached to it, that will equal polytheism if you choose shamanism, right? Because you'll have +2 faith on your main plaza, +2 faith on your first administrative center, and +2 faith on your next administrative center for +6, right? So shamanism and polytheism are exactly equivalent if you attach 3 territories together in a city. If you attach a 4th territory, then shamanism becomes better, because now you're talking about +6 faith instead of, then you're talking about +8 faith instead of +6 faith. So if you plan on attaching 4 or 5, which is what I like to do, territories to each of your cities, then shamanism is the better play. However, that is a slow building faith. +6 on main plaza is going to get you 6 right off the bat, because we're not going to attach enough territories right away to be able to make shamanism advantageous for us. So if you're looking for a quick grow religion, a fast growing religion, then polytheism is the way to go, because you're going to get +6 right off the bat on your main city center. Now you're not going to get to add to that at all, and so by the end of the game, you're not really going to have much. Shamanism is going to net you more faith in the long run if you want to play a game where faith becomes important later in the game. I actually think that because of the way this game works, polytheism may actually be the play here, because we're not going to attach a bunch of territories to our capital city for a while. We might not get to that 3rd or 4th attachment until quite a ways into the game. By that time, most faiths have been pretty well established, and so it really depends on what you're playing for, but I think I might actually take polytheism this time. I almost always go shamanism. But I feel like in order to get our faith generation up quickly and try to grab a really useful tenant in the first or second tenants, I actually think polytheism might be the way to go here. So I'm actually going to go with polytheism this time on that premise alone, which is I would like to get my faith up and running quickly rather than having, in the long run, better faith generation. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So we're going to choose polytheism this time.
A first city constructed.
There we go.
Walls,
all right. Roofs. Now we've got our first big decisions, right?
The luxuries of civilization.
Thank you, Mr. Narrator. We've got our first big decision. We can choose where to put our people. We can choose what to build. This is where I'm going to leave this episode, because I think there is a lot to talk about as soon as you start to get into this part of the game. So we made it to the ancient era. We got through the Neolithic. I'm going to leave us here for this particular episode, because we're pushing time and I want to make sure that these are digestible and have the right length to them. So for the sake of this episode, we're going to leave it there. Next time we cover and get back into our Let's Play Humankind series, we'll jump into build order, we'll jump into the research tree, and we'll jump into the ancient era in all of its glory. The ancient era is a lot of fun, so you'll want to tune in for that. Thank you so much for tuning in to the video. The next couple weeks might not be Humankind content on the channel. I have kind of a monthly rotation of videos, and so we've got a couple things planned that are going to be coming out over the next couple weeks, but we will return to the Let's Play series shortly. Don't worry. I'm really excited about this game. If you want to comment on some of the strategies, some of the things that I was talking about, please feel free to do so in the comments. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please feel free to subscribe, and if you like the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for tuning into the video, and I will see you next week.